Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler, the leader of Nazi Germany, organized the Holocaust, which led to the systematic killing of 6 million Jews and millions of others, regarded as undesirable. His quest for Aryan supremacy sparked World War II, causing massive destruction and the deaths of over 70 million people. Hitler's dictatorial rule was marked by brutality, including the use of concentration camps, genocide, and aggressive military expansion. Charles Manson. Charles Manson, the leader of the Manson family cult, carried out a series of brutal murders in 1969, including the killing of actress Sharon Tate and her friends. Manson's charismatic manipulation convinced his followers to carry out these horrific acts, believing they would spark an apocalyptic race war he termed Helter Skelter. Manson's influence and the shocking nature of the crimes left a lasting scar on American society. Idi Amin. Idi Amin, the military dictator of Uganda from 1971 to 1979, was famous for his brutal rule. He ordered the mass killing of an estimated 300,000 people, targeting ethnic groups, political opponents, and believed enemies. Amin's rule was marked by extreme human rights abuses, economic mismanagement, and the banishing of the Asian community, which destroyed Uganda's economy. His rule of terror ended only when he was removed in 1979. Pol Pot. Pol Pot, leader of the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia, ruled over one of the most brutal genocides in history. His violent vision of an agrarian society led to the deaths of approximately 2 million people between 1975 and 1979. Pol Pot's rule targeted academics, professionals, and ethnic minorities, forcing millions into labor camps and executing those who resisted. The country's infrastructure was destroyed, and survivors were left traumatized. Osama Bin Laden. Osama Bin Laden was the mastermind behind the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks on the United States, which killed nearly 3,000 people. As the founder of Al-Qaeda, Bin Laden promoted a radical Islamic ideology, organizing numerous attacks worldwide. His actions led to the War on Terror, resulting in long-lasting conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq, claiming countless lives and destabilizing regions. Kim Jong-Un. Kim Jong-Un, the leader of North Korea since 2011, is known for his cruel system. He maintains strict control over the country, limiting freedom and using propaganda to keep power. Kim's government is accused of serious human rights abuses, including prison camps, public executions, and widespread surveillance. His goal of nuclear weapons has led to international tension and isolation, making North Korea one of the most oppressive governments globally. Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein, the president of Iraq from 1979 to 2003, ruled with an iron fist. His rule was marked by widespread human rights abuses, including the use of chemical weapons against Kurdish civilians in Halabja, resulting in thousands of deaths. Saddam's invasion of Kuwait in 1990 led to the Gulf War, and his disregard for international regulations contributed to further suffering in Iraq. He was eventually captured and executed in 2006. Elizabeth Bathory. Elizabeth Bathory, a Hungarian noblewoman from the 16th century, is famous for her alleged crimes of torturing and killing hundreds of young girls. Known as the Blood Countess, she was rumored to bathe in the blood of virgins to maintain her youth. Bathory's brutality and cruelty have made her one of history's most famous female serial killers. Heinrich Himmler. Heinrich Himmler was a major designer of the Holocaust, overseeing the SS and Gestapo. He implemented the final solution, leading to the extermination of 6 million Jews and millions of others in concentration camps. His unwavering loyalty to Hitler and his role in the genocide marked him as one of history's most evil individuals. Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong, the founding father of the People's Republic of China, led policies that resulted in mass suffering and death. The Great Leap Forward, 1958 to 1962, aimed to rapidly industrialize China but caused a devastating hunger crisis, killing an estimated 45 million people. The Cultural Revolution, 1966 to 1976, further established his authoritarian rule, leading to widespread persecution, the destruction of cultural heritage, and millions of deaths. Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan, the founder of the Mongol Empire, was one of history's most successful and ruthless conquerors. His military campaigns in the 13th century resulted in the deaths of millions and the capture of vast territories. Genghis Khan's use of psychological warfare, brutality, and mass executions spread fear across Eurasia. Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was a serial killer who murdered 17 young men between 1978 and 1991. Dahmer's crimes involved rape, dismembering, killing, and cannibalism. His horrifying acts shocked the world and revealed deep-seated psychological issues. Dahmer's arrest and subsequent confession exposed the horrific details of his killings, making him one of America's most famous serial killers. Jach the Ripper. Jach the Ripper is the unidentified serial killer who terrorized London's Whitechapel district in 1888. He is believed to have brutally murdered at least 5 women, dismembering their bodies in horrific ways. Despite numerous investigations, his identity remains a mystery, fueling endless debate and fascination. Jach the Ripper's horrific murders have cemented his place in criminal history. Ayatollah Khomeini. Ayatollah Khomeini, the leader of the Iranian Revolution, established an Islamic theocracy in Iran in 1979. His rule was characterized by serious oppression, including the execution of political opponents, the suppression of opposition, and the imposition of strict religious laws. Khomeini's policies led to the Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988, causing massive casualties and suffering. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy, one of America's most famous serial killers, confessed to the murders of 30 young women during the 1970s, though the actual number is likely higher. Bundy used his charm and good looks to attract his victims before brutally assaulting and killing them. His escape from custody twice and the subsequent media coverage turned him into a strange celebrity. John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy, known as the Killer Clown, murdered at least 33 young men and boys in the 1970s. Gacy attracted his victims to his home, where he sexually assaulted, tortured, and strangled them. He buried many of the bodies in the underground space of his house. Gacy's dual life as a respected community member and a vicious killer shocked the nation. Ivan the Terrible. Ivan the Terrible, the first Tsar of Russia, ruled with an iron fist from 1547 to 1584. His rule was marked by brutal campaigns against the upper classes, including the Oprichnina, where his secret police terrorized and executed thousands. Ivan's paranoia and violent temper led to the murder of his own son. Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro, the communist revolutionary who ruled Cuba for nearly 5 decades, led a regime marked by authoritarianism and human rights abuses. Under his leadership, political opponents were imprisoned, executed, or forced into exile. The Cuban economy suffered due to his policies and the US embargo. While some praise Castro for his role in improving healthcare and education, his oppressive tactics have left a controversial legacy. Jim Jones. Jim Jones, the leader of the People's Temple cult, organized the Jonestown Massacre in 1978, resulting in the deaths of over 900 followers. Jones convinced his followers to commit revolutionary suicide by drinking cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. The mass murder-suicide, including the killing of a US congressman, exposed the dangers of cults and the extent of Jones's manipulative and paranoid leadership. Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler, also known as Vlad Dracula, was a 15th century ruler of Wallachia, known for his brutal methods of punishing enemies. His favorite method, impalement, involved cruelly nailing his victims on stakes, often leaving forests of nailed bodies as a warning. Vlad's rule was marked by extreme cruelty and a constant desire of power, inspiring the Dracula legend and establishing his reputation as one of history's most ruthless rulers. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.